Hey guys, long time no see. I have tried to make this video like 5 times over already, and I've been interrupted each time. So if this is posted, I was successful this time. So long time no see. I know I haven't posted in quite some time. I think I made some promises last time that I posted that I was going to post more often, or I was going to try to. I've realized that on this channel, I just can't make that promise because I have little ones. I'm in a season of my life where I don't often get a minute to myself. There's a lot of background noise, so it's hard for me to sit down and make a video. I am still melting and burning wax and candles every single day, but I can't always dedicate the time to do a review that wouldn't be totally annoying because there's a lot of noise, a lot of things going on around me. So I'm hoping I have like 5 minutes to do this. Everybody is settled for a minute. So let me just try to get through this review. I'm gonna try not to talk too much. I'm a little bit of a talker. So I picked up Yankee Candle, one of their new fragrances for fall, Caramel Apple Pie. I bought this yesterday. They had a deal running where if you spent $10, you got a free full-size candle. And on top of that, everything at my outlet store was 50% off. So you were able to stack those two deals together. So that was good enough that I was convinced to come in. As many of you know, if you've watched my channel before, I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with Yankee because, as much as they're very nostalgic for me, I appreciate them as a brand. I do feel like quality has decreased over the years. I have a lot of issues with scent throw and scent strength, and so I often do not pick them up unless there is a really good deal, and this was a really good deal. So I decided to go in to the store and at least see what they had. A big thing for me with Yankee is that I'm fortunate enough to have an outlet near me. If I didn't, I don't know that I would buy much from them just because I am so iffy on whether or not something is going to perform well that I'd rather go into the store and smell it and at least feel confident that it's strong on cold in the store before I buy something. So I thought I would peek in the store and see what they had for the new fall collections. The outlet doesn't always have everything in the new fall collections. I think because they're an outlet, it's kind of iffy as to what they get and what they don't get. So I was pleasantly surprised to see that they had, I think, everything from the new fall collection. So that was kind of cool. So I was able to sniff some things that I had heard about and was interested in. I did peruse the website before I went in as well to maybe get an idea of what I would like. One fragrance I was interested in was, I think it was called Berry Scream Puff. I was hopeful. I was a little bit disappointed though when I smelled it in person. Number one, it was light. And I will not purchase a fragrance that's light on cold because I've been there, done that. I've experimented enough in my house to know if it's light on cold, it's going to be even lighter, when I burn it. I'm like, as in I won't smell it. So I really don't play around with that. But sometimes I'll consider getting a fragrance like that in melt cup or wax melt format because those usually perform pretty well for me. So I went ahead and gave that a sniff, and that was it was a nice fragrance, but it was not as bakery heavy as I was hoping. It was more of like a vanilla sugar type of fragrance in combination with some sort of berry jelly or berry compote. It was pleasant, but I like a heavier bakery note, and that's what I was expecting from something like that. So it was just a little bit of a letdown. I just decided that kind of went to the back burner. There was another new fragrance in their Halloween collection called Pumpkin Pie Pop, which I thought, I'm going to smell this and hate it. Just because it seemed like Pumpkin Pie Pop seemed like a weird name. I don't know why. I felt like it's either going to be just like way too sickeningly sweet with fall spices. I felt like it was going to be strange. But it was good. It was like I can't remember exactly what the short description on it was, but it was something along the lines of like pumpkin spice, vanilla, and then a touch of Halloween or fall nostalgia. I can't remember how they worded it. But there was the pumpkin spice, and then there was also something that was like a gourmand note in there. And I couldn't put my finger on what that was. I didn't look up the full scent description, so I'm not really sure. But whatever it was, I liked the combo. And I did consider that one. Again, though it was light on cold. If they had it in a wax melt or a melt cup, I probably would have picked it up just to try it in that format. But they didn't. The outlet didn't. So I eventually settled on caramel apple pie just because it was strong. It was strong on cold. And so thought, okay, hopefully I have a decent shot at this being strong on, when I burn it on warm. So in order to get that candle for free, you can see behind me, I have a candle holder from their new fall collection. And I thought it was a really good transitional candle holder. Like it doesn't scream fall. Like I think it's okay to have out right now in August, end of summer, but to transition into fall, but it's not like full of pumpkins and that kind of thing where you obviously think, okay, this is, Halloween. Most of my seasonal decor is in the form of like candle holders, pedestals, shades, or wax warmers. So I'm kind of a sucker for that kind of stuff. And because the store was 50% off, instead of being $30, this was $15. So I just spent $15 for the candle holder, and then the candle was free. So I'd say that was a good deal. I'm very happy with that. And it's super cute when you put obviously I took the candle out so you could see it for the review, but it gives a really nice glow. So let's get into the fragrance review. So starting with the notes, caramel apple pie has top notes of nutmeg, caramel, caramelized nuts, middle notes of cinnamon, sugar, apple, stone fruits, buttery pie crust, and base notes of vanilla ice cream and clove. So what do I pick out first? What comes to me when I smell this? This smells like a apple pie, like the apples that you get that are like kind of the macerated apples, like that you get from the can, to make apple pie. Like they don't come off as fresh apples to me. They come off as like the canned apple pies, with a super canned apples for pies. And then I get a super buttery, gourmand, bakery, just a very rich, like graham cracker pie crust. It's really lovely. I get a creamy vanilla note in here, and then I definitely do get something that's nutty. If I had to try to identify the nut, I would say pecan. And then certainly the caramel, like that just ooey gooey, sugary, but buttery caramel. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. And then I do get a little bit of the cinnamon and the clove, but this isn't a spice forward scent. Sometimes I feel like some of the bigger candle brands, they have issues sometimes with their bakery because I think they go too heavy on the spice and then the bakery really just sits too far in the background. This is just an appropriate amount of spice, like the amount of spice that you would expect in the dessert, right? It's not overtaking the dessert, and in this case, it's not overtaking the fragrance. And then that vanilla ice cream, I don't pick out vanilla ice cream as if it's its own distinct note or distinct like side. I just get a creamy vanilla note that's really beautifully blended with everything else. So it just smells like a really rich, really delicious, creamy, like creamy vanilla, in combination with a very well done apple pie. Way back when Yankee had just an apple pie fragrance, I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember I did have it in a wax tart, and that was really cinnamon heavy from my recollection. I guess I could be wrong. I could be remembering it wrong. I've melted and burned a lot of stuff since that fragrance, but from my recollection, it was a little bit too heavy on the spice. And this is, I think, a much better done, much more true to life dessert fragrance. So as far as strength, I would give this a 5. I have this burning in my bedroom. It's a 5 in my bedroom. It is not wafting out of my bedroom. It's not going down the hallway. It's staying in my bedroom. The one thing with this, a lot of times I find I don't go nose blind to bakery scents, but I did go nose blind to this. So I had this kind of burning throughout the night, and obviously I was in the room for hours at a time, I would wake up and I really wouldn't smell it. It's not until I left the room for like 20 minutes or more and came back in that I could smell it again. So unfortunately, this is a fragrance you can go nose blind to. But if that's not really your concern, like maybe you're burning this for, just because you want your house to smell good for fall when other people come over. You don't care if you go nose blind to it. I don't think it would be a problem. But for me, because I burn for my own enjoyment. I don't really. I wouldn't pick this up again in candle format because I feel like it's a waste of money if I'm going nose blind to the fragrance, or, I have to keep blowing it out and relighting it and causing issues with the burn. Overall, the burn quality, as you can see, is really good. It's pooled out very nicely. It's a good thick wax pool. Not a lot of sooting on the sides as of yet, as you can see. I trimmed the wick probably not as much as I should have though. So the flame kind of looks pretty tall, but that's my fault. But otherwise, it's performing really well in terms of burn. Like I said, it's something I did go nose blind to. I would probably repurchase this in a wax melt or possibly melt cup format, because I usually get better performance out of that style. So this would be a repurchase for me in that format. I don't know that I would purchase it again in candle format. But that's about it. That is my review of Yankee Candle's Caramel Apple Pie. Let me know if you've tried this. What did you think? Did you try it in a melt cup or a wax melt? How was the performance in that form? Would love to know your thoughts. I'm not sure when I'll be back with another review, but I'm just happy I got this one done today. So thank you so much for watching, and hope everyone is having a lovely end of summer. I'm usually someone who tries to stretch out summer as much as I can, but I'm actually I am fully ready for all the fall stuff. So I'm kind of getting ready for that and getting ready to enjoy all that. So, all right. Thank you for watching.